Today on the Boot Guy, we're looking at the Asolo Fission GV, the women's hiking boot. So before I go any further about this boot, I am reviewing it as a work boot. So I understand it's a hiking boot, it's an outdoor boot, but as it goes for the ladies in the work boot market, there is very little out there that is made with the quality that some of the hiking boots are made. Most of the time when you find women's work boots, they're kind of for manufacturing or indoor work. When it comes to a really good outdoor work boot, there's very little on the market. When I saw the Fission on the wall, I thought, man, that's a great boot for me to review for the ladies out there. It's got all the characteristics that make a really good work boot, casual boot, hiking boot, play boot. If you're looking for something that's quality, if you're not just buying it for the aesthetic value, which it is a very good looking boot, it has a lot of good qualities to it. Now let's start out with the sole that Asolo used. They used that sticky Vibram rubber, that same rubber compound that you find in a lot of the insulated logger boots out there, that kind of that Tacoma rubber, where you can feel that it's going to give you a lot of traction. You can feel the density, that it's a little bit harder, yet it's got a soft tooth to it. Now, all along the perimeter of this, they've added a secondary section of rubber to give you a little bit more grip and a little bit more traction on just the surface section. Reason being, they're thinking you're going to be climbing down or descending down slippery slopes where there's rocks and loose gravel. So having the little traction pads are going to give you a lot more stability as you descend. Now, why do I like it? Well, because this is all reinforced back in here. So if you're a lady and you got to work in a pair of boots, you're getting a defined heel. You're getting this stability area right here. So if you have to kick a shovel in order to dig a hole, you've got some support here. You're not worried about collapsing or bruising the arch of your foot. You've got something there. Now the other thing is that they reinforced the toe area. Not only did they add the rubberized toe bumper here, but it's actually reinforced. It's not a safety toe, it's not a comp toe, it's not like a tactical kick toe where it's a piece of hard plastic put in here. It's just reinforced, it's built over so you get some stability and you get some protection in the toe area. If you gotta plant your foot into something, if you gotta climb with this, if you're kicking material out in the job site, you've got some protection here. Now the materials they used are typical. They come from the hiking world, but it's Gore-Tex line, 100% waterproof. It's got this beautiful suede nubuck type leather that wraps around the foot. It's also built with this nylon, this heavy duty ballistic type nylon that is closer to what you're going to find in luggage. In high-end luggage, you're going to find this type of material. They accented it with some zigzag stitching, but the stitching there isn't really doing much for the boot. The material itself is extremely strong and durable and adds a level of comfort because now it's not a hard boot wrapped around your foot. It's not a solid piece of leather. Now, since it is Gore-Tex line, 100% waterproof, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep these clean. And every once a year or every 6 months, depending on how much you use this, give them a shot with a topical waterproofing spray. Now what's really nice is when you open this thing up and you start to look inside and you realize that there's a lot of space. It's an easy on and off boot. The gusseted tongue, which comes out pretty far. Most of the time on ladies' work boots, you don't see stuff like this, and that's why sometimes you have to go into the hiking and sports world in order to get that type of fit and boot. But as you see with the gusseted tongue, it slides in real nice. It's out of place. Now, this is going to take a few days of you teaching it how to sit within your foot as you're wearing it, but out of the box, you tuck this in right, you tie it up right, you spend a few hours running errands, jumping around in this thing. Before you know it, it's going to become part of you. Now the lacing system is typical Asolo. You've got your metal hardware that's surface mounted. They put the lining on the other side so you don't feel the rivets digging into your foot as you tighten it down. They're offset a little bit, so as you do crank these down, they don't forcefully dig into your foot. They're going to sit right on the surface and they're going to pull this gap closer. At the top, they give you these two really nice metal speed hooks. This is good stuff. This is really nice hardware. This isn't the type of stuff that's just going to crack off and break. You're really going to have to work at destroying the hardware on this boot. Inside, you find a very basic insole. It's a wool felt insole. It's perforated for warmth and moisture wicking. At the back, what they did is they reinforced it with this really hard EVA type material that gives you a real nice deep arch support. That built into the side of this boot, and you've got a lot of support. Now about the size and the fit on this. The way I tested this boot out was the person that I used to fit the boot to, I knew their shoe size, their boot size, based on numerous other boots, based on dress boots, based on casual shoes, based on all that. So we moved around the sizes. I started at a 6, I took them all the way up to a 7.5. We settled on a 7, knowing that farewell that they buy in dress boots a 6.5B, and in regular flats, summertime shoes, a 6 regular. Now this is one of those boots you're not going to have to worry about really breaking it in. It's going to be stiff. Out of the box, it's going to feel like you've got a water ski on your foot. And it should. It's a boot. It's a hiking boot. It's built for stability. It's built for your assuredness as you're out there. Whether you're working, you're playing, whatever you're doing, when you move into a boot like this, you know that you're ready for action. So that's the Asolo Fission GV women's hiking boot that I reviewed as a work boot. Ladies, if you're currently wearing a pair of these, please comment below. Let the other ladies know about your sizing, where you started, where you ended up, and about the hours you're putting into a pair of boots like this. Is it for work? Is it for play? Is it kind of just that weekend boot? Or have you really turned this into your everyday work boot? Hey, if you want to know more about this Asolo boot, swing by to bootguy.com. There I'll have detailed photos of all the hardware, the lacing system, the inside, and even the footbed that they include. Plus I'll have a nice little write-up on it with all the details about the boot. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. It really helps out. And ladies, if you should have any questions about purchasing work boots or outdoor boots based solely on materials, fit, and function, shoot me over an email. Pick my brain. See what I got to say about your next purchase of a pair of boots. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.